Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
New this evening, a woman found dead in Chillicothe. Good evening, I'm Ann Jacob. Thanks for joining us. The Chillicothe police released the statement today. At approximately 8:30 this morning, officials found the body of a woman near a fence line at the end of North Brownell Street.
We have a lot of spaces that we can use different individuals, and if you work in Athens County, it's the pay is $113.50 for the day. So, and then we do have a poll worker class that we would schedule you for.
There is a need for more poll workers in the upcoming election. You just heard Penny Brooks, the Deputy Director of Athens County Board of Elections, speaking that there is plenty of available spots for Ohio University students and Athens County residents. Now, to be a poll worker in Athens County, you need to be registered in the county, and to become a poll worker, you can either sign up at the Board of Elections office on Court Street or online at the Secretary of State's website. Brooks says the benefits of being a poll worker is serving the community, upholding democracy, and learning more about the election process. One of the nation's largest providers of reproductive health care could lose its funding here in Ohio, all because of Bill 294. The House is currently holding committee hearings for the bill. WOUB reporter Katie Anderson is at the Ohio State House and talked to those on both sides of the bill.
That's right, it's all laid out here in just 4 pages, and if House Bill 294 passes, thousands of Ohioans could be in search for a new health care provider.
We need to focus our health care tax dollars on saving babies.
That's what Representative Margaret Condon believes House Bill 294 will do.
I guess you could just say I'm intrinsically pro-life, and that's why I don't want my tax dollars used to pay for abortions.
Sponsored by Representatives Condon and Bill Patman, the bill would require the Department of Health to ensure that no state funds are used to promote abortions or go to any entity that performs them.
Planned Parenthood is not mentioned in this. If the shoe fits, however, please wear it.
No specific abortion provider is mentioned in the bill, but Planned Parenthood believes it's aimed directly at them.
What our opponents are thinking about is how to destroy us. They're not thinking about how to get these women health care.
Planned Parenthood provides 3 of the 8 abortion clinics that remain in Ohio. Stephanie Kite says current abortion laws in the state have made Ohio one of the strictest states in the nation.
We know that patients go out of state for abortions. So in Toledo, where it's become quite restrictive, they're traveling to Ann Arbor. And for medication abortion, they can travel to any of the other states that are contiguous to Ohio.
In 2014, Planned Parenthood in Ohio received $1.3 million in state funding. But Kite says House Bill 294 undermines all the prevention programs Planned Parenthood offers.
They're going after funding that actually is preventive care that would help reduce the number of unintended pregnancies and really help important health outcomes in the state of Ohio.
In the hearing room, Representative Patman says the bill's focus is all about where state funds are going.
I think we can agree that when you sign a contract and receive money from the state or federal government, that money should be used for the purpose in which it's earmarked.
But when asked if any state funds go towards abortions,
the auditor went out and took a look, and as of the last report that I read, the answer is no.
Now, it is already illegal for state funds to pay for abortions unless in the case of rape, incest, or saves the mother's life. Planned Parenthood tells us that if this bill does pass, they will not stop performing abortions and are determined to find funds through another source. Reporting from the State House, Katie Anderson, WOUB News.
A similar bill will also be heard by the Senate for the first time this week. Introduced by Senate President Keith Faber, Senate Bill 214 would also defund organizations that promote or perform abortions. Faber says he expects the bill to proceed relatively quickly. And back to our top story. At approximately 8:30 this morning, officials found the body of a woman near a fence line at the end of North Brownell Street in Chillicothe. Police say the woman had obvious injuries to her body and the case is being treated as a homicide. They do not believe the case has any connection to the 2 other women currently missing in Chillicothe. Police have yet to positively identify the woman, and anyone with any information regarding the deaths is asked to contact the Chillicothe Police Department.
Good evening from the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Kaylee Shaw. A bit cooler out there today, 62 degrees right now in Athens. Windy as well, with gusts up to 23 miles per hour, and across the region temperatures are in the 60s right now, 62 Chillicothe and 66 in Ripley. And cloud coverage is going to increase as the night goes on, and temperatures will cool down as well into the 40s, and cloud coverage should clear up into tomorrow. I'll have more on your extended forecast later in the broadcast.
New data shows that Ohio workplace fatalities have not decreased. In fact, they're holding steady with past rates. The U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration also shows Ohio leading all states in the Midwest for the number of workers killed on the job this year. Ohio was also one of 24 states to see an increase in fatal occupational injuries in 2014. Former OSHA Director Bill Wilkerson previously said he believed increases were due to the lack of attention and a newer, younger workforce. And a different type of workplace case has been declined. In court, the U.S. Supreme Court has declined to review a black lung case. Legal experts say that this case could have set the precedent for black lung benefit cases. A lower court ruled last year that the Affordable Care Act brought back a provision that makes certain survivors' families entitled to benefits without having to prove that the minor died from black lung. In the lawsuit, Peabody Cole argued that the award to a minor's widow violated the U.S. Constitution. The Supreme Court declined to consider that argument and leaving the Sixth Circuit's decision intact. A Raleigh County laboratory has been rectified to test water pollution samples. Appalachian laboratories can continue performing coal industry water sampling and analysis. This comes 6 months after an employee was sentenced for tampering with water samples. DEP spokesperson Kelly Gillenwater says changes made at the Appalachian labs include new ethics training and improved recording practices. Appalachian Power is seeking to dismantle 2 West Virginia power plants. The electricity giant has asked West Virginia regulators to allow the company to dismantle the Phillips Sporn Power Plant in Mason County and the Glen Lynn Power Plant in Giles County, Virginia. Appalachian Power officials say dismantling the Sporn and Glen Lynn plants would be more cost-effective than converting the plants to natural gas. New Ohio legislation will allow emergency responders to collect workers' compensation benefits. The bill would be for police, peace officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians with post-traumatic stress disorder from their job. Currently, the law does not allow for compensation for psychiatric conditions unless the worker has PTSD related to physical injury or was forced into sexual conduct. The committee could vote on the bill today. And coming up on Newswatch, a new report is released on the Malaysia Airlines Flight 17. Find out officially why the plane went down. And the Democratic candidates gear up for their first debate tonight. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Today's the big day for the Democrats, the party's first debate of the 2016 presidential campaign. Hillary Clinton is still the front runner, but candidates on the stage will be vying for that key moment everyone will be talking about tomorrow.
The stage is set. Now it's time for the Democrats to square off in Sin City. Hillary Clinton, leading in the polls, is front and center tonight. Bernie Sanders, clipping at her heels, says policy is fair game, but he intends to steer clear of the personal attacks.
Let's treat each other civilly, let's treat each other respectfully, and let's not try to demonize people who may have disagreements with us.
But Lincoln Chafee, Jim Webb, and Martin O'Malley, all polling at an average of less than 1% nationally, have to make a name for themselves, and that makes them unpredictable.
These debates are make and break moments for every campaign. Lots of people are going to be viewing this, given how few of them there will be this year.
They'll be battling more than just the candidates on stage with them tonight, though. Clinton certainly is. The former secretary stopped by a union rally outside Donald Trump's hotel on the Strip.
Some people think Mr. Trump is entertaining, but I don't think it's entertaining when somebody insults immigrants, insults women.
Trump, who leads the Republicans in polls, says he will live tweet the debate tonight. Clinton playfully replying to that tweet, "Glad you'll be watching. It's going to be huge." And even though CNN probably won't have to drag out its sixth podium standing by for Joe Biden, people watching the debate will see the vice president.
You never quit on America.
The group Draft Biden just released a new ad Thursday urging him to run. In Washington, Diane Gallagher reporting.
The debate begins tonight at 8:30 on CNN. Dutch investigators released their final report Tuesday on the Malaysian Airlines flight that was shot down over Ukraine in 2014, saying it was a missile that exploded outside the cockpit of MH17, ultimately causing the deaths of everyone on board. Polo Sandoval has the story.
Watch closely as the heavily damaged forward section of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 takes shape. This reconstruction reveals what likely happened over eastern Ukraine July 17, 2014. The report by the Dutch Safety Board concludes the Boeing 777 was taken down by a surface-to-air missile, killing all 298 people on board.
The warhead exploded on a location in space less than 1 cubic meter to the left of and above the cockpit, spraying its fragments in a characteristic radial circular pattern originating from the missile.
Investigators determined hundreds of iron fragments ripped through the cockpit, killing the flight crew and causing devastating structural damage to the fuselage. The forward section of the plane eventually broke away, crashing in a field nearly 5 miles from the rest of the wreckage. Dutch officials and those from 4 other countries, including the United States, maintain the warhead fit a Russian-made Buk missile system. The Russians, who also took part in the investigation, disagree. They insist it was not possible to confirm the kind of weapon used. So why was MH17 allowed to fly over an armed conflict zone in the first place? The chairman of the Dutch Safety Board now believes the airspace should have been closed.
Almost all operators were flying over that area. And why? Because nobody thought that civil aviation was at risk.
The final official report on MH17 may answer many questions, but it will likely do little to ease the pain of families who lost loved ones on the flight. Reporting in Washington, I'm Polo Sandoval.
Dutch prosecutors are still continuing a separate criminal investigation looking to assign blame. Their report is expected by the end of the year. Hugh Hefner upset social norms in 1953 when he started publishing nude photos in his now iconic Playboy magazine. More than 6 decades later, the magazine is again doing the unthinkable by stripping nude pictures from its pages. The magazine, which once had 5.6 million readers, now has just 800,000. Playboy will reportedly drop fully nude female photography starting in March. The move appears to be the result of widely available online pornography. CEO Scott Flanders says nude photos just can't compete in a world where, quote, every imaginable sex act is just a click away. Flanders told the New York Times there will still be pictures of women in provocative poses, but no more full nudity. On Wall Street today, stocks closed lower as Wall Street awaits a series of corporate earnings reports. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
A bit cooler but pleasant temperatures, and we're definitely starting to look more like fall. I have more in your extended forecast when Newswatch returns.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere. Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Kaylee Shaw. A cool day in Athens, very fall-like, 62 for your current temperature. We are a bit windy out there as well, with gusts up to 23 miles per hour. Temperatures across the region right now in the 60s. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. 60s right now, and we are going to cool down a bit as the night goes on. Today, though, we had a high of 67 degrees and a low of 57. We're right around average for our high and a little bit above average for our low this morning. And temperatures overnight are going to cool down into the 40s, being more seasonal. And we're going to have mostly cloudy skies tonight, and 44 in Ripley, 45 in Ironton, and 43 New Lexington. Here's a look at your high temperatures for tomorrow. Going to be a bit cooler again, very fall-like temperatures in the 60s, 65 Ripley, 67 Ironton, 62 in Columbus. We are going to be Less cloudy for tomorrow as high pressure is moving into the area. Here's a look at what's going on. We have this low pressure system that brought us some rain last night, and it's bringing us that wind and cooler air for today. Here's a look into tomorrow. High pressure will be moving into the region, bringing less cloud coverage, but we're going to have some cooler conditions, and winds will calm down a bit as that high pressure moves in. And for tonight, we're looking at 44 degrees for our low. It is going to be a bit chilly, mostly cloudy skies, and into tomorrow, 60 for your high. Again, going to be a little bit cool for tomorrow, but it is very fall-like temperatures with pleasant conditions overall, mostly cloudy. Partly cloudy for tomorrow. Here's your 7-day. We're getting right around that time where it's perfect to have a look at the fall change in colors. We are around peak in fall foliage. As you see, our 7 days looking very fall-like, temperatures in the 60s, but this weekend is going to be in the 50s for our highs. And take a look at those low temperatures. Friday night, 38. Saturday, 34. We have some potential for some frost advisories and some freezing. I know that's not what you want to hear, but we are going to have to bundle up this weekend, and looks like pretty nice conditions for the 7-day forecast. No rain, maybe a slight chance on Friday, but next week we're looking mostly sunny, again, cooler fall-like temperatures. And I'll take it back to you, Ann.
All right, well, I'm Blaine Carraher. Thanks a lot, Kaylee. And those fall temperatures only mean one thing. The high school playoff football season is nearing. I'll navigate you through the OHSAA computer rankings, and one Ohio volleyball player is being recognized for her impressive numbers. All of this and more coming up next on Newswatch. But hey, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Blaine Carraher, and Ohio volleyball senior Meredith Ashe is the MAC East Defensive Player of the Week. She helped the Bobcats to a series of sweeps this weekend against their MAC rivals Akron and Buffalo. Ashe recorded 38 digs in both matches this weekend, and she leads the Bobcats with with 376 digs and is second on the team with 63 assists so far this season. Ashley is second all-time in Ohio volleyball history with almost 2,000 digs in her career. She is only 118 digs behind the all-time record. The Bobcats are back in action this weekend when they take on the Ball State in the combo Friday night. And now to the gridiron. The OHSAA revealed its latest computer rankings this afternoon. We'll start with D2 Region 5. The Logan Chieftains fall this week to the 6th spot after a loss to its rival Jackson. And the Tri-Valley Scotties fell a spot despite a win to John Glenn. Now, I just mentioned Jackson's win. That earned them major points. They're now number 1 in their division. Sheridan falls in at number 8. And now D4 Region 13, Bloom Carroll finds itself in a tie for 6th place. And Maysville, they routed Morgan on Friday, so they maintain in the number 8 spot. And now Zane Trace, they just keep on winning. So the Pioneers, they're on top as well. But Alexander, they got bumped up to 3rd after a win on Friday. And River Valley and Wellston, they're in 8th and 11th place respectively. And last, D7 Region 25, Trimble, they remain on top. And Belpre's pivotal win over Miller bumped the Eagles' ratings to 7.4, and its spot is now from the 7th to the 4th. Miller, they now sit in 7th place. All right, so now let's move on to the big boys in the NFL. The league has actually blamed an error by clock operator and the failure to correct it by on-field officials for an unusual runoff of 18 seconds near the end of the Steelers' 24-20 win over the Chargers. All of this happened after a touchback as the Steelers gained possession for their game-winning drive late in the 4th quarter. The clock continued to run, and when the Steelers huddled, the clock showed 2 minutes 38 seconds remaining instead of 2 minutes 56 seconds as it should have. The Steelers scored on their final play from scrimmage, so the outcome of the game really wasn't directly affected. Now, the ALDS game between the Royals and the Astros ended in dramatic fashion yesterday. The Royals came back in the 8th to save themselves. In the top of the 8th, the Royals, they were down 6-2, holding on to their last breath, but just like last year, they came back and scored 5 big runs in the 5th. And the final game of the series is set for tonight in Kansas City. And the next game of the night wasn't nearly as dramatic. The Blue Jays, they got out to a big lead right from the get-go. The Rangers, they couldn't even keep up. Toronto, they took that one 8-4. And they are set to play tomorrow night. So now to the National League. The Cubs, they took down the Cardinals last night, 8-6 last night. It was a rare off night for Cubs ace Jake Arrieta. But for the Cubs, they made up for it at the plate. The Cubs, they set a record for the most home runs in a postseason game as they would end up knocking in 6 dingers out of the park. The Cubs, they're actually trying to clinch the series right now. That game, the Cubs, they're up 5-4, top of the 7. And the Dodgers, they had the Mets last night for a high-scoring affair. The Mets, they would end up winning 13-7 and take a 2-1 series lead. The Mets will try to clinch later tonight in New York, but they may have some trouble as they will have to do it against the Dodgers ace, Clayton Kershaw. All right, so that's all we got for sports. I'm Blaine Carraher. Back to you, Ann.
Thanks, Blaine. Comedian and actor Tracy Morgan has returned to the stand-up stage. Morgan appeared at New York's Comedy Cellar Monday night. He tweeted a photo of himself performing, saying it was his first time on stage in 16 months. Morgan was critically injured last June when a Walmart truck slammed into his limo on the New Jersey Turnpike. Morgan's friend comic James McNair was killed in the crash. Morgan is set to host Saturday Night Live this coming Saturday. Now, Kaylee, let's take one last look at weather.
Thanks, Ann. Tonight in Athens, we're looking at a low around 44 degrees. It is going to be a bit chilly tonight, and we're having mostly cloudy skies throughout the night. And here's a look at tomorrow, 60 for your high. A cool fall day ahead of us, but it will be pleasant with partly cloudy skies, and winds will calm down tomorrow to be 0 to 5 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day. We have a cool weekend ahead of us with lows getting into the 30s with some potential for some frost, but as far as the 7-day, very fall-like and seasonal. Back to you, Ann.
Kaylee, I'm disappointed to see those cold temperatures coming back. But that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Ann Jacob. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime online at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.